Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Marketing in the Madness on the beach at Shoptalk Luxe. And of course, we are talking luxury, but actually, I've got a bit of an anomaly coming for you in a minute. My next guest is, I'm going to hopefully say his name right, Ahmed Al Derazi. Yes,
that's right.
Got it right. VP and head of comms at the Landmark Group.
Yeah.
Now, you were just telling me how you were like, I'm not sure if we're supposed to be at Shoptalk Luxe, because a lot of my UK listeners may not know enough about the Landmark Group. Tell me why you thought that and a bit about the Landmark Group as a whole.
Sure. Thanks, Katie, for inviting me. So to just give a bit of an overview on Landmark Group. So Landmark Group first launched in 1973 in Bahrain. That's the country I'm from, actually. And then in the 90s, they moved their base to the UAE. So Landmark Group is predominantly a multi-category retail business. They're focused on the value segment. And they also have some other ancillary businesses in hospitality, fitness, as well as, funny enough, a third-party logistics company. But most of what they do is really targeting the value business. And so we do have a lot of history coming to Shoptalk Europe because obviously Shoptalk Europe is trying to always bring the cutting edge technologies, and we are an omni-channel retailer. So whilst we have about 2,500 plus stores, we're also 20% of our business is also done online. So it makes sense for us, and we have also the biggest retail loyalty program in the Gulf.
Wow.
With about 50 million active users. So it does make sense for us to go to Shoptalk and learn about the latest technologies and everything. So, but when Shoptalk Luxe is coming to Abu Dhabi, it just was a bit odd for us because we're not quite at Luxe. And definitely Shoptalk is something that we work with a lot. So I said, let me come here and investigate and find out more about what the event has to offer. And I have to say, it's a beautiful setting. We're right here on the beach. It's not every day we see this kind of conference going on. And they also talked about maybe you might not have a luxury price point, but you might offer a luxury service. And so I said, let's find what this is all about. But coming back to Landmark Group, we operate in 15 countries, predominantly the Gulf and a few other countries in the Middle East, Southeast Asia and India. So besides the footprint of stores, we have about 53,000 team members working with us across the group. Over 20 brands. The majority of them are brands that we've created. So we're also one of those unique companies here in the region that we don't franchise and bring brands here. We actually start most of those brands here. So, and we're about $7 billion and over $7 billion in revenue annually. So that's a bit about us.
Rather large then.
Big enough.
$7 billion. Yeah.
Big enough.
It's decent. Whilst I'm here in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, any stores that I should go and check out?
Absolutely.
Yeah, come on, tell me.
Yeah.
I need to.
So,
I'm going to be there. I've got time after the show.
Great. So one of the things that I would say is some of our brands that are very well known is called Max Fashion.
Yes.
And that's very much a value segment fashion retailer. They've got some great stores now. If you go to some of our stores in, let's say, if you're here if you go to Dubai, you have them in Dubai Hills Mall. All the big malls are there, but we've come up with a new look and concept that you'll find in Dubai Hills Mall, City Centre Mirdif, and Ibn Battuta Mall. Those are some of the latest iteration. If you walk in there, you wouldn't think it's a value retailer. In fact, the technology that they have there is they have one RFID technology as well, and they have self-checkouts where you don't need to scan the product. You just put the products onto the kind of a virtual basket and it just scans it immediately for you. So it's quite good and seamless. We have Home Center, which is our flagship home brand as well. So you'll find some beautiful furniture there for all sorts of tastes. And that's, exactly like I said before, it's very good value. We have Center Point, which is like, I wouldn't say it's a department store, but it has 4 brands, unique brands in it, which is Splash, which is a fashion business as well. Baby Shop, which has everything for kids. That's everything that I got from my son comes from there as well. As well as Shoe Mart, which is a shoe business, and Lifestyle, which has everything from cosmetics and beauty to some home accessories as well. So those are some of our big brands that we have. We also operate as well with a soft discounter grocery retail concept called Viva as well. If you like truffle chips, crisps, you can go there and they're quite affordable. So those are some of our brands, but we have a lot more as well.
Wow. I mean, I'm a big fan of truffle crisps, so you've got me already.
Yeah, I should have brought some with me.
Yes, you should have. Oh my God, I need
I'm not
that.
sure they would have allowed me in the hotel with this, but if I would
Sneak them in.
sneak them in next time.
I'm going to get some. I am honestly obsessed, and so some of them are so expensive.
Yeah.
So that is good.
And you have this. All these brands are also present in Abu Dhabi as well.
Yeah.
So you don't go far before you find any of our brands.
Love that. Now I've got a feeling I know why. Even deeper, why Shoptalk Luxe want you here today, because there's a lot of talk in the luxury world about loyalty, and you've already said this. Like, you guys have got one of the best loyalty programs out there. Talk to me about how that works and what it is that you're doing to, because you're earning customers' trust, and we're going to talk about something you were at yesterday as well, the Edelman, I always want to say this wrong, Edelman Trust Barometer. So you're going to give me some insights from that, because that is a live, fresh insight that you literally got for me yesterday. But how do you create loyalty, and tell me about the loyalty program that you've got?
So actually we have two loyalty programs at Landmark Group. One is called Shukran, which means thanks in Arabic. That is based here in the Gulf. And one is called Landmark Rewards. That's in India. That has 22 million unique or active, let's say, members. And here we have 15. Think about the population size in India. So at least if I could talk about Shukran. Shukran started here many years ago. So even before I was working for Landmark Group, the Shukran loyalty program was one of the first that was launched, if it not the first, in the retail segment. But more recently, we've evolved it into a much more engaging and rewarding platform where, again, you go to the tiers as well. So it rewards you for greater frequency, greater spend. And of course, as you do that, you get rewarded with incrementally more and more benefits as well. So I'm a platinum shopper. And you know what? The good thing about being a value brand, it doesn't break your bank to be a platinum member. So long as you know that that's where the loyalty, that's where the value lies, you find yourself automatically pivoting to one of our brands and to shop, and then that's where you get more and more out of it. And of course, because we've gone through a big evolution or almost revolution in the way that the loyalty rewards program is structured and how customers can interface, and the kind of broader rewards that you can do, including exchanging points with other loyalty programs across the different things that people shop at and consume. It's become more rewarding, and that's why we've managed to get customers to kind of keep coming back and giving them more value as well. Because the purpose of Landmark is to create exceptional value for all the lives we touch.
Yeah.
Of course, you would do that for your customers.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's so true. Like, we're, even in the world of luxury, I've been talking to other, luxury brands about this week, double this. And I really feel like, wherever you are, often in the luxury world, like, loyalty is so important. And to create that and to feel that you're getting value, whether you're buying something that is incredibly expensive or something that is, on the more value, at a more value base, it's important you want to feel like you're getting value for money. Yeah. So I think creating these loyalty programs that reward, almost sometimes, gamify, I get quite competitive with myself. I'm like, I want to feel like I'm a platinum partner or a platinum customer because I've, I've spent money with that brand or I've invested in that brand. So I think for me, that is definitely something that the luxury world is we're really starting to see come through, and they can learn from you.
Yeah, actually, there is some games as well.
Is there?
Yes,
oh, cool.
On the
Shukran. Tell me about these.
I haven't played them yet, but they've been launching. The Shukran team have been talking to me about some new games that they brought in to gamify our loyalty program. So there's a lot that they're doing with it, and of course it's a fast moving. Like everything that's happening in retail, thanks to technology, it's very fast moving, and so it continues to evolve. So there continues to be new things that they're introducing, and I think as you said, the luxury world can look at this and see how they could bring it in a relevant way to their audiences as well.
Yeah, I think they are. They have to now because we expect it. Because, consumers in that shop luxury are still going to be shopping at in your stores.
Yeah.
Like we experience both. So there has to be some learnings these brands can take. So we've already talked about it a little bit. I'm going well off brief. I told you I might do this on it. Sorry.
It's okay, so long as I'm able to answer.
Yeah. I know that you will, because I'm going to ask you about something I know nothing about. Well, not this year. So you were yesterday at the Edelman Trust Barometer.
This morning.
Yeah. Oh, this is live.
Yeah.
Fresh information, guys. What did you hear? Tell me.
So my role is as a VP and head of corporate communications and corporate social responsibility. Reputation management is a big part of my role. Because I wouldn't say reputation is my responsibility. Reputation is actually the responsibility of all the 53,000 colleagues that I have. Whether it is somebody that we might recruit one day, so how our HR and talent acquisition treats that person, to somebody who's coming into one of our stores, how we treat that person, to our delivery people when they're delivering a product to somebody who orders online. It's that touch point where the reputation is built or ruined, rather. Reputation management is where I enter the chat, so to speak. And so, and that's also associated with awareness, association of attributes, positioning is very key. And so it's really difficult in today's world. How do you manage that corporate reputation? How do you create the desired reputation when everyone has a point of view, everyone can vocalize it, and people's appetite for reading or people's attention span is also limited. And it's a very crowded and competitive space. But also the role of media has changed a lot. The news media, if I want to be very particular, has changed a lot. From when I began my career about 19 years ago, I'm showing my age now. And then what I went to today was Edelman, which is a global international communications agency. Every year they release a trust barometer, where they ask a whole bunch of questions to a lot of people, and then which is based on trust. And the thing is that what they found this year, in this year's report, which they just launched in the UAE, is that actually trust now, people seek trust mostly from the CEOs and leaders of companies and from government officials. That's where they are that's where they find most trust, especially here in the UAE. And that's where they seek most trust, and that's where they feel there's an obligation. And very sad, maybe I would say, that the least amount of trust is towards news media now, because of how things have changed over the years. And so that's where I went today, and then there was some insights about what's called brokering trust, is a concept they talked about, kind of fostering trust through engagement and listening to each other and dialogue, and to try and bridge a gap between people of different values, different beliefs, different backgrounds. And they found that, for example, they expect a lot from CEOs and governments, and there's still a gap between expectation and reality, but that gap in expectation is bigger with news media today. So that was the kind of insight that I got.
I love that, because my whole business is built on people-powered marketing.
Yeah.
And we've seen a huge trend over the last few years. So I work more in the B2B marketing space, but that people want to buy from people. So in order to build trust, it's really often hard to do that through an invisible marketing team or a brand on its own. In order to really do that, this is why brands work with influencers, but also we're really starting to see big brands like PayPal, for instance, investing in big roles. They're recruiting for roles in hundreds of thousands of pounds a year salary, just focused on the CEO's content strategy to make sure that the CEO is showing up in a way that speaks to their prospects, their audience, their customers, in a way that they can empathize and trust. And it's super important. I really feel like as we head into 2026, it's interesting you talking about the Edelman Trust Barometer, and I am going to go and do some reading up on this because I haven't looked at it for a few years. But I really do feel like 2026 is the trust era. Like, we're in a space now where there's so much AI, there's so much content that you don't know who's created it, if it's real or not. So this kind of stuff becomes more important.
More important. I agree. Look, without taking into a huge history about the difference between how corporate reputation used to be created and managed at the beginning of my career versus now, I could tell you that there is the role of the leaders of an organization, not just externally but also internally, but leaders of an organization in shaping the perception and the association of the organization that they represent is more important than it was. It was always important, but it's even more important today because the role of news media has become, for many reasons, like whether it's the diverting ad spend from traditional news media towards digital means, which means they get less money, and so the quality of the journalism is now stretched because it's maybe not as much and it's not as strong, it's not the depth, and where also the kind of, you used to have, like, you'd have the separation of church and state, you have to have that separation between the advertising and the editorial side. Now it's become a bit more converged and blurred. So now the content tends to be, more biased, more promotional, more advertorial. That's what happens. So you do not find that amount of credibility in the content anymore. You have to really kind of scrutinize. I'm not saying it's not there, but it's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
And so people then would kind of pivot to the kind of the spokespeople now of organizations. Do they have a compelling thing to say? Whenever, when I got recruited by Landmark, when I really wanted to know, yes, you could look them up on LinkedIn and on the news and look at that. But actually, I really wanted to know, what were their leaders saying? What, do I relate to what they're saying? Do I believe in what they're saying? Are they saying something compelling that I want to work for? That's me working for them. But it's also other business partners who want to deal with them business. And ultimately, that creates a halo effect as well for credibility for the business that end users can also look up to.
Yeah, you're so right. I think it's changing and getting more important.
Yeah.
The more technology and, like you say, the types of advertorial, more salesy content is there, we have to have this undercurrent of human, believable, real content.
Yeah. And it has to be compelling, right? It has to be compelling. It has to be authentic. It has to be coherent. Because otherwise, if you might sound too robotic as a spokesperson and you'll be the same as others, or you might say something that people do not quite relate with, or is not differentiated, and then you'll still sound like others.
Yeah.
So there's somewhere in the middle that you have to be, and it has to be relevant as well.
Yeah, you've got to find your voice as a business, as a brand, as a person.
Agreed.
On that, my last question is I am kind of following the brief a little bit. I've gone a little bit rogue, but it's kind of gone there. What does that mean for you? So for 2026, as VP of communications, really responsible for a lot of the storytelling that goes on behind the brands, what is your focus this year? What are the kind of things you want to bring to life?
Sure. So it's a few things. First of all, on a more strategic level, it's trying to identify the right positioning for Landmark Group. You are in the value segment, but you're also very mass, but you're also a trendsetter in many ways. You're picking up technologies, you're evolving your in-store experience, your e-commerce experience. Just because you're value doesn't mean that the experience has to go down. So you need to do that. And you still have other responsibilities as an employer of 53,000 people. What's your employee value proposition? What is also your commitment to the community because I also look after CSR, but also we have a strong sustainability arm. And what they are doing at a time when, let's face it, global leaders are actually dropping the ball on sustainability, but the threats are still there. So we need to continue that. And people still care about it, regardless of what global leaders think. So it's important to stay relevant for what people want, and also to be able to champion what our brands are doing. Because sometimes what our brands are doing are really helping people at a time when the dirham, which is a local currency here, or any other currency, it's quite stretched. There's a lot that they have to cover these days. And so if you're offering that value for them during key occasions, whether it's a festive time or Ramadan, which is also a very big season for us, or even back to school that everyone goes there, even me as a parent, you have to make sure that you can demonstrate that to the people. And so you're hitting so many audiences at the same time, as well as reinforcing your purpose and what your proposition is, but also showing that you're also looking as a tomorrow company. So there's a lot to build.
There is. Yeah, I like the phrase that you've used at the end there, though, looking at it as a tomorrow company, someone that's focused on the future. And you guys, in so many ways, are leading that. So yeah, it's great. Ahmed, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure to learn more about the brand. I'm going to go and check out some of the stores.
Sure.
This weekend. I will be in, well, a mall in Dubai. So.
Yeah. If you ever come, we'll show you around as well.
I'd love that. I'll be messaging you.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Thanks, Salim.
Take care.